morning, wherever you are. We are in the Bay Area. I think temperature is 72 degrees. It's gonna be today, and I know you're ready for Vinny and Beau show, just like we come every week.
Another Friday in the books. I wasn't
Yes.
much of a runner, but now I started running at the gym because
Ah,
I'm like a little short guy with a lot of muscle, so it's hard to run.
we are Vinny and Beau show coming live to you from San Francisco, the great Bay Area, right here from Danville, Blackhawk. We always come to you on Friday at 9:30 a.m. 9:30 a.m. Pacific and 12:30 p.m. Over there in the East Coast. All right. We are back. This is Vinny and Beau. Vinny and Beau show. We come live to you 9:30 Pacific and 12:30 Eastern every week. We are very excited to be here with you all. The exciting part is look at the stock market, Beau. Oh my gosh. It's a roller coaster, brother. 500% up and 300% down. I know I was just looking at it. It's 43 degrees over here in the backyard over here in Danville, Blackhawk, and brother Beau is there in Las Vegas. Henderson, how are you, bro?
I'm doing well. I've been busy, just nonstop, all day, every day,
Yes.
and just trying to I create systems because you get so busy. You got
Hmm.
to just keep moving forward, move the needle a little bit every day. But I don't know. I just this year, all right, we're 1 month deep already in the new year, 2022, and this year has started out very busy. I mean, I come up for air when I have to, but it's just I'm very
I,
focused and just going for it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Same thing with me too. Just automations, getting my virtual assistants all situated. I know you have quite a few, myself too, my assistants, my partners, everybody, so that we could really have a rocking 2022. It's all moving the needle. It's making sure that we are concerned about, what our goals are, our visions are, and making great things. Automation is the word. I really believe that because there are so many techniques, there are so many softwares out there that can really automate our business and make human error can be reduced, things like that, right? But let's talk about a little bit. This morning I just said, let me see why is the stock market where it is. And some of I also invest quite a bit in stock market, in real estate, commercial real estate, getting into storage units big time. Well, huge, starting a new fund in storage units and working with an operator who has bought a lot of them and so forth. And of course, hospitality is a big one, which we want to pick up a lot of hotels this year. That's my other part. And then, of course, the multi-family ground up construction in the assisted living and everything. But let's talk about stock market, seeking alpha. I just did research. I said, why is it going up and down, right? Everybody's talking about how these stocks are going through some compression and this and that. Some this Nasdaq is way up and then down. And then I looked into the jobs. They added 450,000 jobs over there in January, in just 1 month. And the leisure industry also added 150 jobs. That's the hospitality. And then retail sector added 61,400. Usually we talk, this is really interesting, this chart. I was just looking at it, how where the jobs have been really good and so forth. So let's just talk about, what are we going to be talking about today is where we are in real estate. In real estate, we have to really see what is happening in the real estate market, because both that's where you are, brother, right? In loans and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting times. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately, a lot of news, and a lot of people are obviously prices, cost of goods is rising, big inflation. Uh, People are saying we're going into a recession now. They expect it to be a year run or so, or could be longer. So I don't know. it's hard to really comprehend exactly what's going to happen because everybody has a different opinion.
Yeah.
And I think nobody has a crystal ball.
Hmm.
But I think you need some dry powder on the sidelines. I think
Hmm.
there will be some opportunities. I don't know exactly when and how, but they'll be buying opportunities. And then, what do you do when there's super inflation? What
Hmm.
everything's costs more. My brother just sent me a picture of a car he bought,
Mm.
and it was like a Jeep Wagoneer, and they're like a
Hmm.
really like kind of like a nice kind of like a Cadillac Escalade, and I'm like, how much did you pay? And
Hmm.
he's like 115,000 for this, and it's like a Jeep Wagoneer. I'm like, what the heck? I mean, they're super nice, but and then I was looking at cars to buy
Yeah.
a car or truck or SUV. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what I want to buy, and everything it costs way more money now. Like I like, personally, I'm like, I'll just keep driving my Toyota because right now it's
Yeah.
not probably a good time. Other than the fact, and here's the thing, the cost of finance is so cheap. So
Yes.
so most of the real estate investors I see right now are refinancing and going into long-term debt, cashing out as much money as they can, and then
Yeah.
fixing in the rate. I had a guy today or yesterday, and he's got like he's a property manager, and he's got a bunch of rentals that he owns personally, and
Yeah.
he sent me like 6 properties he owns, and he's like, I got to pay off a prepay, but these are like commercial bank loans that adjust in the next 3 years. And I said, well, on those type of properties, I could do a 30-year fix
Yeah.
at similar or better interest rate. So it's worth him paying 25,000 in costs for this. It's not a huge loan; it's like $1 million loan because he knows that in 4 or 5 years he doesn't have to worry about it. And these are long-term holds for him. So right now, I would say harvest the farm. Go get your equity, and even it's not a bad thing if you have to, even if you're not using it right now. I think there's going to be time in the next few months that there'll be some opportunities. And personally, I'm still buying. I think everybody I know is buying still. Their buying criteria has changed a little bit.
Totally, totally. I'm so glad you're saying that, Bo. We are refinancing the house we bought. You represented me, brother. 2.5%, 30-year amortized. What? For jumbo loan, 2.5 fixed. And then our rental home in the Shadow Creek area, right there, 2.75 rental, 30-year fix. But the exciting part is money is so cheap. You're so right. The Mercedes we bought 580, S580, 2.69%. I mean, money is just given away. Inflation is 7%, and you are able to get all these loans at such a low price. It's just mind boggling. You're so right about it. And of course, please do share where you are from. Thanks so much. Again, we go live for you every Friday at the LinkedIn channel, YouTube channel, Facebook pages, Facebook channel, all over. Please share your name and the state you're from and post some questions. We are here to chat with you. And many times we have guest speakers. Today we don't have one, but next week we have a great one, right? Yeah, Bo. And it's going to be exciting. Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually don't know much about the guest speaker. Ethan booked him, but
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
Ethan's been booking amazing guests, and so
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
there's a lot of. I think the amazing thing about doing the Vinney and Beau show is not only do I get to be with you on every Friday, but we get to interview really good guests, and you
Hmm.
learn a
Hmm.
little bit from every person you get to bring on the show. So there's always somebody that brings value, whether they're, in a total different space. Maybe they own mobile home parks, or maybe they sell storage. But I've gotten, you gain so much. So on my podcast too, I love interviewing people because it's like, I'm
Hmm.
always like, yesterday I was interviewing this guy and he was telling me how he buys probate deals. And,
Yes.
95% of the population, I think in the US doesn't own a property in a living trust, which means their property has to go through some form of probate. So
Uh-huh.
that's a huge net. So you just learn, and it's great to have these guests that come on the show. But
I to-
so my
totally
question,
agree. I totally agree. No, I was going to say, you and I met a very nice lady in Atlanta, Tisha, and then she reached out to me last week and interviewed me this week. And she's going to come out in her image. It's a whole podcast and the persona from Chicago. And the exciting part was where the journey has been. It's exciting to see so many people. The network is the best thing. Network is equal to your net worth, we call it always, right? It was so great connecting with her, and to be able to really, and then debt free doctor. So I got interviewed, I think, 3 times this week or something, and I interviewed 2 times. I have one more going on after the show today, later today. So, it's really good to really meet with people and try to say, how can I add value to them, right? If that's the posture, a lot of people will be flocking around you, and then they'll be able to really see the benefit of how you could move them to the next level, and they'll help you. Either it's a two-way street.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's why I love doing it. I mean, just to get to meet people that you normally wouldn't meet,
Yeah.
and a lot of people with a lot of different backgrounds. Which part
Hmm.
of the
Hmm.
country is good now to buy property? And this is, how
Yeah.
do I say? Is that a you? How do you say that name? Is that an Indian
I
name?
think it's
Opil,
Uppili
Opili.
Sundaram. Yeah, that's from India. Looks like, yeah, Sundaram. The last name I can see definitely. I'm in San Jose, right in the Silicon Valley. Hi, Uppil. I'm right here in Black Hawk, California. Nice to meet you. Yeah, definitely. There are a lot. I'm sure Beau can share. I know he's in loans, and myself, I'm into more of the syndication business. Go ahead, Beau. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's a question that I was going to say it depends, because there's people. Vinny's model is buying in emerging markets. He goes in where there's a lot of job growth and population growth. He goes in, finds an asset that could be under market value, does a
Yeah.
little value add play, and he forces the appreciation, right? And then you buy a property for 50, 2 years later it's worth 63 or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
name of the game in what Vinny's syndication model is quick value add. Now he's doing some long-term stuff too, but that initially was his big model. And so he was looking for certain markets to do this in. Now there's other operators that like workforce housing, which aren't maybe the emerging markets, but at the end of the day, people need a place to live. So
Yeah.
depending on it really depends on your investing criteria, because some people make a ton of money in the middle of nowhere in some tertiary market because there's there's a shortage of housing, and there's jobs and people need a place to live. Like I'm buying a duplex right now for $106,000,
Mm.
and the gross rents are,
Pennsylvania, in
yeah, the gross
Pennsylvania or
rents,
some.
yeah, it's a small market. The
Mhm.
gross rents are $1,700 a month.
Wow.
So it's a pretty good cash on cash return if you look at it. Getting
Mhm.
financing is easy. Now Vinny probably wouldn't want to do that deal because it's too small for him. But for me, I'm just doing it myself. And I
Mhm.
just said, to me, I like duplexes. I like triplexes. Granted, it takes a lot to scale up, but they just fall in my lap. And so
Mhm.
I like that model. I have friends that buy, obviously like Vinny buys huge multifamily properties, assisted living, develops them. So everybody has a little bit different appetite. I think the important thing is where you at today, right? We had and I want to throw in this, we had Dr. Jeff, where
Yes.
his model is to invest with the good operators.
Good.
So
Yeah.
maybe you're a doctor, a high paid W-2 employee, and you don't have time to go operate the property. So you
Mhm.
need to find a partner, and that's what a syndication really is. You find an operator that has a track record of
Mhm.
doing successful deals, and you read through their offering disclosures and see if it's a good fit, and then you do your due diligence. Due diligence could be talking to the sponsor himself, the operator. It could be validating with people that invest with
Mhm.
that syndicator. There's a lot of ways of doing due diligence, so it just depends. I think everybody has a little bit different niche. I think we're in kind of uncharted waters with inflation right now and just COVID in general. So,
Mhm.
you really want to figure out the plan of attack, because you don't want to put your money in something that they're going to, they're saying they can get you out in 5 years and ends up being a 10-year hold, because that's going to dilute or possibly lose your return. So you want to be sure, because there's no guarantees in anything. So the important thing is no reverse engineer the deal. What are the worst case scenarios? Stress test, make sure the operator is stress testing the property, whether it's a short-term rental, multifamily. What happens if occupancies drop? Because right now, like in the short-term rental world, everybody's buying short-term rentals, and it's like the emerging business. Everybody's
Yeah.
going, and prices have tripled in these
Mhm.
destination markets. Now, will that continue to be such high occupancy? I don't know. Is it because COVID and people are just like, hey, I don't have to go to work. I can bring my laptop and go to the Smoky Mountains. I don't know exactly. So those are the things that you need to be careful of when investing. So I think there's no like, where are you investing? It just depends on your model. I like buying cheap properties. It's not for everybody.
I like that. Thank you, Bo. I know I was asked that in the mastermind also that I do on every Wednesday. By the way, if anybody listening to us would like to be invited to the mastermind for a couple of weeks, you could definitely, email uh, Vinney, Vinney, Vinney at vinneychopra.com. We can send you the link. The good part is that, the tertiary markets are the way to go, not in the MSAs because everything is so hot. You can a lot of my students are actually investors are buying in northern Kentucky. It's just amazing because Cincinnati is flowing into Kentucky. That's a great place. I love Tennessee's, the Knoxville Tennessee's, the Nashville Tennessee's. Of course, Florida is very, very hot right now, but there are deals to be gotten. Dumil just sent me another deal. I mean, near Tampa. Then there was another deal, Orlando, north of Orlando. He got it under contract already, by the way. So, there are lots of things happening. Salt Lake City, another student of mine was sharing with me in the north side of Salt Lake, Arizona. I know Arizona is pretty expensive, $298 per unit for a C class asset. I couldn't believe it. I said, how could you make money, So that's the kind of, people are sending me deals and so forth. But and North Carolina's never lose those. I mean, I've got 4 deals this week alone come on my desk from Carolina, sorry. So there are a lot of places. Now, I think the question was asked, is it going into a downward trend? I would say yes, because the interest rates are going to hike. You will see that. I mean, the market is unwavering and where it's going because they are taking that into account. In Nasdaq, in stock market, that's what Nasdaq is. I mean, look at that. What 500 points fall yesterday alone? I mean, that's huge. That's huge. So I think inflation at 7%, it may even 9.8%. Somebody I saw yesterday was talking about, so that's going to put a pressure into the pricing of the product. So those I sold so many deals last year, and I'm selling one right now, and would love to sell a couple of more because we are at a peak. So there will be some downward trends coming, in my thinking. Nobody's got a crystal ball, but I really believe there will be. But I also say you cannot be outside the ball game either. You cannot be spectator. You got to be in the deal, talking to the brokers. I was introduced to a very good software where this new software, Bo, I'll share with you. You could look for out of town, uh, you know, uh, all these kind of filters you can put in, about who to talk to for getting off market deals. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people look for off market deals. So please email Vinney at vinneychopra.com or Bo, Brother Bo, Bo at boeckstein.com, so that if you'd like loans or get into best of the best loans, and I'm into finding properties, and Bo is finding great properties too. Uh,
Yeah, I'm my new thing that I'm gonna go after is what I realize, there's so many landlords in the single family duplex and fourplex space that are retiring right now. So it's a really
mhm.
good time to go direct to
Yeah,
these landlords that are retiring. You can negotiate really good deals.
huge,
Sometimes
huge,
sometimes they don't
huge.
want the cash. You can do seller
Yeah,
finance, so they don't have to pay.
that's the best.
They could do an installment sale and they don't have to get taxed
Yep.
heavily.
Hmm.
So that's my new focus, is to just talk to these sellers directly and let them get to know me and create a win-win deal. Hey,
Yeah,
listen, I know you want to retire. I can take these 20 houses off your shoulders all at once,
yeah,
and we'll do an installment sale so you don't get crushed on taxes. It's a win-win situation. So I got to get my spiel down a little bit better on how to approach them. But I have a colleague that she got 84 units, not all at once, but that was her whole model. She would find these landlords that
Uh-huh.
wanted to get out because it's a pain in the rear. That's why nobody wants to do, like Vinney wouldn't want to do 100 single family homes. It's a pain in the
No.
butt. But if you're a buyer and you can walk into a deal with very little
Mhm.
cash and sell or finance it and pick up 20 units that give you 8 or 9 grand a month cash flow, that's a pretty good deal. So I think there's a huge opportunity there with a lot of these people retiring right now. So you could use these software systems to find these portfolio owners and strike up a conversation. A lot of people, if they like you, they'll do business with you. It's not
Surely.
about, sometimes it's not price. Sometimes it's not price at all. It's
Yeah.
I like this person. They're going to take care of my properties. They're going to treat my tenants that have been with me for a long time with respect. Like, so I've created all these new strategies. Like I reach out to listing agents now. I
Yep.
didn't do that
Yep.
before. And I become
Mhm.
friends with them. And they give me deals. Like I have this, I'm buying I just put an offer on a 4-unit property
Yeah.
and in Pennsylvania as well.
Yeah.
And it's in decent shape, downtown area, 93,500 for the fourplex. And it,
Fourplex. Look at that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and I went direct to the listing agent, built a
Mhm.
relationship
Mhm.
with her. And, I run it through a little software system I have, and it's just like meets my DSCR requirements, my cash on cash return and so forth. And just go out and buy it and get a loan real quick. It's pretty simple. You can get loans for 75 grand at 4 point something percent with no paperwork. So it's good timing to do that.
It really is, Bo. Thank you so much. The thing is, there are so many deals out there. I think there are a lot of deals that are being offered because people want to get out. And then there are a lot of lenders who send me emails, hey, I closed on this, I closed on this, I closed on this. So it's very exciting to see what you're doing, Bo. You were in Indianapolis, I think, or north of there, right? Quite a
South Bend,
bit.
yeah. Hmm.
South Bend. And you were doing crazy, crazy things there. Now you're in Pennsylvania. I really believe that there are so many opportunities all across USA. I know Sundaram was asking about Portland, Seattle, Austin. Austin is very, very hot. The property I bought just two years, not even quite 2 years, September of 2020 for 35 million. It's worth 60 million today. I mean, look at that. I didn't even put much money into it, maybe 600,000 into it to renovate 42 units. That's all I did. But the thing is, I don't know if we renovate all of them. But anyway, the thing is, Austin, where you're talking about, Portland, Seattle, those are really, really up markets. But you could, like Bo said, you got to get deep into with the brokers, look at what you can buy, what unit types, like Bo is doing great because in the 4 units, 6 units, 8 units, 12 units, meet with the brokers, try to find them in that market where you want to buy and build and get to know them. And let them send you a deal. And then you reply back and say, hey, that does not fit my criteria. Do you have something more in the pipeline? So by building a relationship, that's when you will get some off market deals, right, Bo? I mean,
Yeah.
you will get crud before from the broker because they don't know you from anywhere, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I just reach out. That's my new thing. It's like I should have been doing this like every day. You should reach out to 1 or 2 brokers.
Yeah.
Like I have a
Yeah.
call after this with this. I want to buy a short-term rental property in
Hmm.
Pennsylvania, up in a resort area. So I got a specialist that does that kind of. He represents buyers that in the short-term vacation space. So I'm gonna pick his brain,
Yeah.
find out where he recommends to buy. Right, like that's the key. Where they're going to give you insight. If you don't know much about the market, you got to use your Google. You're going to search the demographics, and you want to know what you're getting into. But if you're buying short-term rentals, you got really good tools right now, like AirDNA. You can pull like average daily rate, occupancy levels. So the short-term rental business it's there. So I don't own one right now. I want to own one
Yeah.
in the next few months, and I want to do it all remote. Meaning, I'm never going to visit the property. Is my goal is to
Hmm.
create right like electronic door so people can put in the passcode, get in the front door, automate the cleaning service,
Yeah.
have the handyman ready. So you want to be able to do this kind of stuff because I'm not going to go fly to Pennsylvania for this one
Yes.
property. So you have to build those systems up. But that's what's exciting. There's a company called I was looking at it, and there's other companies. It's called We Go Look.
Hmm.
You can pay them like 50 or 75 bucks. They go to the property, they take exterior photos, they walk, they'll do a video tour of the property for 50 bucks or
Wow.
75 bucks. So like those are the
Wow.
tools that I'm really focused on right now, is getting those tools in my back pocket, because then if you want to buy real estate in other markets that make more sense, but yet like if Vinny's going to buy a $50 million property, he has to go walk it and stuff. I get that, right? It's a $50 million
Sure.
deal. He's going to get the third parties to do the boots on the ground inspections and so forth. But when you're buying a property for 100 grand, you're not going to go fly there for that property.
Sure.
You're gonna create a system and then use these services out there, good property managers, so forth, and you can do it all remote. So technology is enabling us to do this. So I do believe that the expansion, people will continue to live in tertiary markets,
Yeah.
more of the vacation areas, because they can now, because they're able to work over Zoom now, as opposed to 5 or 8 years ago where this wasn't it's so mainstream now. I'm on Zoom every day, all day now. It's life is so much different.
It is. It is. But I was going to share, I can't really reveal the software, but the founders and the people met me and my team this week. We are looking through the software, and within the software, you could do skip trace and everything, get to the owner's addresses and all that. And guess what? For 40 cents, they'll send a colorful card, four-color card on your behalf to the owner of the property. It's just ridiculous. 40 cents costs actually for printing and postage and everything like there. And you could put filters after filters after filters in the software to come up with one zip code where you want to, buy houses. It's residential and commercial together. That's the other part I like in this one. You could do fourplex, sixplex, eightplex, or you can do multifamily or hotels and all that. Very comprehensive. It's an alternative to CoStar and Reanimate. Can you believe it? I couldn't believe it. So
Well,
this
that's
is
good.
something.
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
what's great, and I never got into this, but now I'm getting into this because
yeah,
it's called like list stacking, right? Like, okay,
yeah. That's what it is.
I'm looking for out of state owners that don't
Yep.
live in the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Uh, the property has X certain amount of equity. There's a divorce or
Mhm.
whatever. You can layer these criterias
Yes,
into your
exactly.
search, get
Yeah.
their information. You can automate the postcard being sent. You can get their number. You can automate the SMS message, which is a text message, right? Like
This is
it's a
amazing.
whole new
Amazing.
world now. Like you don't have to just
Yeah.
send a one letter now. Now you can I can track them down on LinkedIn. I can track them down on Facebook.
Yep.
I can do a I could like I have a software where I can pull contact information. So
Yeah.
it's truly amazing, and I think the people that are hungry enough that use these tools are going to just crush it, and they are crushing it right now. Like, and it's like, if you want to buy off market properties, let's say you don't have money right now, right? But
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
time. If you
Yeah.
have time and the drive, that's what you should be doing. You should be finding these off market deals,
Yeah.
tying them up, pre-screening them, underwriting them as best as you can, because you might not be an expert. Once you have that deal locked up, then you go find a partner that likes to buy those assets, and then maybe you stay in the deal as a JV partner, or maybe you just assign the contract for a huge fee. I mean, people are getting paid $100,000 fees on houses to assign a contract. Imagine on a $20 million apartment building, right? Like there's huge money to be made by learning all these tools and being able.
So true, Bo. You just brought me, buddy. If anybody would like to really test drive my underwriting, I want to say something. For the last 15 years, I've been perfecting my underwriting tool to look at investments into commercial market or duplex, fourplex, eightplex. You could put as many units in that. And there is a site right now, vinneychopra.com/underwriting, by the way. What this is it's a software. I am partnering with a great, great company from Canada, and within few seconds, you could upload any rent roll, huge rent roll, any kind of P&L into this software. It puts into my underwriting, and it gives you all the things already inserted so that you can look at the cap rates, the cash on cash returns, the DSCR, all those things. So within a minute, less than a minute, you'll be able to put everything and then you can analyze the deals. So you could go to vinnychopra.com/underwriting. The other website, which I want to really, my team said, Vinny, your book is doing so well, which is the commercial investing book, Syndication Made Easy. We are giving free copies to everybody, free digital copies. You could go to vinnychopra.com/free book. That's all. Just go to vinnychopra.com/free book. Beau, please, brother, how can people reach you? Please
Uh,
tell us about it. Yeah.
yeah, you guys can just go to beaueckstein.com. Beau Eckstein,
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
BEAUECSTEIN.com.
Yes, 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 right there. That's our, place to meet us, boexteen.com, and look at all the ways to connect with us. And also myself, vinnychopra.com. Really excited that you took the time to meet with us today. I know we do make this into a podcast also, which will be put all over permanently into the YouTube channel and all over, in the social media. Please reach out to Brother Beau. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much, brother. And so please put notification on so that you could join and share your comments so that we could be of helpful to you. Again, this is Vinny and Beau show, and we'll see you next week. Go ahead and have a wonderful, wonderful day, rest of the day. Thank you. Bye bye.